guys! Hello, gorgeous. A couple of months ago I did a review of my ultimate USS flag, and I got a lot of comments and questions about the custom laser cut stands that I was using for my Sky Striker and Tomahawk. And since I just got another order in from the maker of these custom stands, I thought I'd make a video about it. I purchased these stands from Flux Dimensions on eBay, and they're also available at www.tshobbies.com. Right off the bat, you can tell how much pride they put into their product by how well it's packed. If you order multiple stands, they'll all be cellophane together, packed in a secure, sturdy box, with packing chips too for protection. Each individual flight stand is wrapped in cellophane, and if you order more than one, they'll all be wrapped together in cellophane so that they don't rattle around in the box. This will be a step-by-step walkthrough on how to prepare your stands and use them. I'll start off with the smallest pieces I ordered this time out. Some custom spotlight lenses for the 1983 G.I. Joe headquarters, and a spotlight lens for Checkpoint Alpha. These pieces come with a protective blue film to guard from scratching. All you have to do is pick at an edge with your thumbnail and eventually you'll be able to peel it off. This lens for the Checkpoint Alpha spotlight has two different sides. One side is completely smooth, and the other side has a raised edge to it, which I believe goes on the inside. At least that's what I think looks better. Make sure the lens is nice and clean and fingerprint free before popping it in there, because if it's not, it's going to be pretty tricky getting it out. Once inserted, the spotlight looks so much better. It's really clear, shiny plastic, and it reflects the light really well. And we just pop it into Checkpoint Alpha, and you can see the amazing glare you get off of it when you shine a flashlight onto it. Really cool, simple, and cheap add-on that adds a lot to the look of Checkpoint Alpha. Next up is the spotlight lenses for G.I. Joe headquarters. Once again, we just pick at the edge until we get enough loose that we can pull it right off. And as you can see, sometimes it's a little trickier than other times. Just like the Checkpoint Alpha lens, there's two different sides here, one that's flat and one with an edge. And we insert it into the spotlight, and it fits in there perfectly, nice and snug. And like the Checkpoint Alpha lens, it reflects the light really well. It's such a little touch, but I think it adds so much. I love little upgrades like this to early Joe toys. Also available is a reproduction lens of the Cobra Moray spotlight, or the G.I. Joe Tiger Ray, which is just a recolor. This is the original lens that came with my Tiger Ray, but the reproduction one looks almost exactly the same, and at a fraction of the price of the original. Alright, on to the flight stands. First I'm going to start off with the G.I. Joe Dragonfly flight stand. We just pull off the protective cellophane wrapping. And here's the base, which features this dragonfly symbol. And on the bottom of it, it has this protective paper coating which you have to remove. My advice is just to pull it off nice and slowly, because otherwise you're going to get a lot of tearing. Look at how crystal clear this plastic is. It's like glass. Next, we pull off the protective blue coating from the pieces that will actually attach to the dragonfly. And again, these pieces are very clear. It will really give the illusion that your dragonfly is hovering in midair. Sometimes these can be a little tricky to get off, so just keep at it. Eventually you'll be able to peel it off. And here you can see the dragonfly symbol matches the one that's on the side of the dragonfly. This is how the arm pieces fit into this dragonfly stand. Ideally, you want to hear that plastic squeak while you're pushing them in there. It should be really snug and support the weight of the whole stand. Sometimes it's hit or miss, and some of these pieces will be really loose, and you might have to add a drop of crazy glue in order to tighten them up a bit. So we attach the dragonfly by sticking these bars into these grooves. It fits in pretty simply. The only problem I had is that the landing rig came apart from the dragonfly, but it's easily popped back into place. And there you have it, installed! The dragonfly helicopter sits nice and securely on this custom stand. And you can add to the look by setting it on top of the G.I. Joe headquarters helipad. I really like the dynamic positions that the creator of these stands chose. The dragonfly isn't just hovering there perfectly straight. I like how the nose is dipping a little bit. It also looks great taking off from the G.I. Joe Tactical Battle Platform. Up next is the X-30 Conquest stand. Once again, we remove the cellophane, and I'll leave all of these unpacking segments intact in this video, just so you can see it takes a little bit of patience to unpack and prepare all of these stands. But trust me, in the end, it's worth it. Once again, we remove the protective coating from the bottom of the stand. And as you can see, we might get a little bit of rippage again, not a big deal. And a little bit of residue that you can just wipe off. It really is amazing how clear these are. Absolutely beautiful. And we take the blue plastic off of the stand pieces. On his auctions, the seller mentions people who left him negative feedback because they got blue pieces instead of clear. And I just can't believe people are that stupid. And one more protective sheet to remove. Some of the stands are very easy to figure out how they piece together because the slots are different sizes. As you can see, this piece won't fit in this hole. It's made for this one. But this is what I mentioned before. This piece is far too loose for this hole. Just luck of the draw, I guess. I'll have to add a little bit of crazy glue later to tighten this up, because when the pieces are loose like this, if you bump it, your vehicle will go flying. And not in a good way. This second piece fits in nice and tight though. This will take some MacGyvering. So the groove in this front piece fits right here on the Conquest, while this groove in the back wraps around the engines. It fits nice and securely, not too tight. I like how these stands are secure, but they don't dig into your vehicles. They're not going to leave any scratches or stress marks. And if you drop your landing gear, this stand gives your Conquest a takeoff look. Very simple design, but very effective. Another really nice touch is the laser engraving. It's very cool to have the name of the vehicle engraved right into the stand, along with a laser engraved G.I. Joe logo in the bottom. There are currently two options of flight stands for the Conquest, this takeoff or landing mode version, as well as a banked attack mode version. Another cool thing about this particular stand is that it doesn't have to be used for takeoff mode. You can put the landing gear away and set your Conquest on top of the stand to give it an in-flight look. It's true, jets do look awesome on the USS flag, but they look so much better when they look like they're taking off of the USS flag. Next up is the Tomahawk stand. The bottom of the stand features the Tomahawk logo and says Tomahawk Chug underneath. One thing I've noticed about pulling off these protective paper parts is that they like to rip around the holes, so just try to pull it off nice and slow when you come up on a hole. Ah, beautiful. The laser engraving has a really nice texture to it as well. Every once in a while you'll find a really easy one to pull off. Followed by one that's not that easy. Alright, once again you can see these stands have two different sized slots, so it's easy to figure out which stand goes in which slot. The tricky part with the tomahawk, though, is that the angle has to be consistent. The stands have to both be pointing downward in the same direction. I got lucky with this stand. Both of these fit in very securely. The first tomahawk stand I ordered was so loose I had to crazy glue it in place. This stand is designed for the Tomahawk remold Eagle Hawk, but it does work with original tomahawks like this one as well, if you pull out the grappling hook. As long as it's in there, the back won't fit properly. But if you pull it out, the back stand part will fit in securely next to the rear wheels. Luckily, the Tomahawk has a lot of space inside, so you can just pop it inside the cargo hold. The Tomahawk / Eagle Hawk is such a big vehicle, it takes up so much space, that this is an absolute must for me. Just raising it up a couple of inches off the ground frees up so much space, and makes it look so much more dynamic. There are currently two different options of flight stands for the Tomahawk, this banking mode, as well as a takeoff mode that's more leveled out and has the rear higher in the air. Despite how big the deck is, USS flag owners know how quickly that deck space runs out, and a flight stand for your Tomahawk frees up quite a bit of precious space. And finally, probably the most popular seller in terms of G.I. Joe flight stands, the Sky Striker. There are three different options for Sky Striker flight stands. This one is the landing mode, which I use for takeoff mode also. There's also an in-flight banked mode, and a vertical mode. Oh, perfect. Damn. Very nice work on this one too. I love having the official designation of the vehicle on here. XP-21F Sky Striker. And the arm pieces. Okay, this one's a little trickier. Like I said, some of these are a little trickier. Just be patient. Ah. Okay, like the tomahawk, these pieces have different slot sizes. They'll only fit one way. And I got lucky again with this one. They fit nice and tight. And once again, it's very easy to install your vehicle. You fit the back stand piece in the groove behind the giant middle bomb. And the front stand piece rests in the groove behind the front wheel, giving you this spectacular Sky Striker taking off or landing look. Personally, I think it looks more like it's taking off. Even though it's just a few inches, I think it adds so much to the look of the vehicle. Plus, it's probably better for the vehicle in the long run. That 30-year-old landing gear can only support the weight of the Sky Striker for so long before it buckles in on itself. The great thing about this particular stand is that you can display your Sky Striker with either wings out or wings in. Now you can have a Sky Striker taking off of your USS flag, just like on the flag box art. Now instead of just having your jet sit on the flag's deck, you can give it that Scramble the Fighters look. Also available is this banking mode stand for the Sky Striker, which I got a while ago. It's also very easy to attach your Sky Striker to. There's a little groove in the front stand which goes around one of the missiles. I particularly like to use this stand with the San Diego Comic-Con Jetfire. This Autobot's got a lot of extra jet power with the extra thruster on the back, so it looks perfect in banking mode. The only problem with this stand is that the wings can't be displayed out, unless you have it going over an edge. And here are a few more of my older stands. This one is for the Skyhawk. This one was extremely loose and I had to craggle it, which has left a little bit of this white glue residue. I'd say this is my least favorite flight stand. Skyhawk doesn't fit in there very securely, and it tips to the side very easily too. I don't think having this vehicle hover really adds much to the look of the vehicle, but that's just me. And a couple of Cobra flight stands as well. This one is an absolute must for Serpentor's Air Chariot. The base features a Cobra symbol, with Serpentor's name laser engraved. And these prongs connect very securely to the underside of the Air Chariot. Just put Cobra Commander in place here. Just like the Joe vehicles, it adds so much to the look of the figure, having him hover just a few inches above the ground. You can see how great it looks if you have them displayed next to your army builders. You gotta have your Cobra Emperor riding high. And there's a similar flight stand for Destro and his despoiler. Features a Cobra symbol with Destro's name on it. I really wish it was the Iron Grenadier symbol instead though. This doesn't attach as securely as Serpentor's Air Chariot does, but it's still pretty secure. Like Serpentor, this guy is a leader, and it adds a lot to the look of the figure, having him hovering a few inches above his army. And finally, a non-G.I. Joe stand. I picked up this stand for the Hasbro X-Wing because I wanted to display it with the S-foils in attack position. You can kind of do it with the X-Wing's landing gear down, but this looks so much better. And like the other stands, it's extremely secure as well. There's a nice engraving on the front part of the stand, Incom Corporation T65 X-Wing. And the base features a giant rebel symbol. Beautifully done. The stand is a work of art itself. So if you're tired of your vehicles being grounded, head over to Flux Dimensions on eBay or tshobbies.com to scramble your fighters. They've got all sorts of G.I. Joe, Cobra, Star Wars, and Star Trek stands for you to choose from. Thanks for watching. Feel free to share, and to join the tribe, hit subscribe. Yo, Joe!